just bugging. Hey guys, well, we got the 1970 1600cc dual port broken down. Kyle got it all down. He's about to get to the muffler and the heater boxes, and over here we've got all the tins sorted out, and he's gonna degrease them and sandblast them. All right guys, we've got all the tins sandblasted for the 1970 Beetle, motor only, 16cc. Came in, you're getting the block all cleaned up and everything, and go to get ready to paint all the tins, the light blue metallic paint. So here's all the tins, getting ready to paint them the light metallic blue. It's like a silver metallic and a light blue. It's gonna look really nice. That'll be the first one we painted that. And here's some of the parts that's gonna get cast aluminum, and then low gloss, high temp, both of them high temp, low gloss black. So, and I noticed I can't blow through the heat riser. Oh, great. I was gonna rot it out, and it is rusted out. Super duper. All right, gotta figure this one out. Hey guys, there's the tins for the 1970 Beetle. That is a pretty metallic blue. Wow. That's pretty. And as you'll notice, the squirrel cage isn't there. Well, when I was putting down the sealer, you know, I blew these things out really nice, but you know, there's a lot of areas inside there where dirt can get trapped inside the squirrel cage. And I sandblasted all these, or Kyle did. So when I put down some sealer, I noticed it must have blown some sand out of somewhere, and right across the front of it, there's little specks of dirt in it, or sand, whatever. Well, I can't have that, so I took it off, took it out of the area, and I'm just gonna let it dry and shoot that by itself. I'll scuff it up and get all that off of there and do it again. Can't have that, but it's real pretty color. It's gonna be a pretty motor. All right guys, back on the 70 Beetle.
Whoa there, buddy.
That startle you there? Kyle's over here cleaning up this, getting it prepped to where we can paint this, and then we got some other assorted parts. Oh, that's not for the 70 Beetle, that's for my 72. I'm gonna repaint it. It's been sitting in the shop. It's gonna go on up in there. We're about ready for that. We got the motor over here for the 72. I'm gonna set the timing today. I'm waiting for Mike to come over, and we're gonna adjust this in. I've got other projects going on right now, so we'll get back to the 70 Beetle. As you can see, we got a lot of projects going on. These parts have to get painted low gloss, high temp paint, black on some of these, and cast aluminum on others. So that's what we got going today. We got the block pretty well cleaned up, except for whatever gets on it while I'm doing this. I'll pull the rocker arms off, pull my push rods out, and then get the push rod tubes off for when the adjuster will come in, because I'm not taking the heads off. I need to do that. I am going to check and make sure that the heads are torqued properly. 25 foot-pounds. Last one had shims on it. This one doesn't. A little tight there. Forget when you do this to replace those O-rings. I see that this one doesn't have shims in it like the last one did. Pull your push rods, store them in the same order that they came off. All right, now, all right, I'm back on the other side to get the rocker arms off on this side. Then I'll get my torque wrench out and my manual, make sure I'm working it in the correct pattern. I know, I just always like to have my book out. I'm used to it. 8 years in the military, they wanted to see it open no matter what you knew. Push rod tubes in the correct order that they came off. I'm going to check the torque and the heads. I'm on number 1. That's 25. That clicked already. 2. Ooh, that's loose. There we go. I'm going to replace my screen, my oil screen and filters. I mean the gaskets and all the washers. And then I'm going to finish pulling out the old grommets for the push rod tubes and clean this up a little bit more. Put a light coat of paint, silver paint on it, and get ready to assemble this. But of course, I'm going to show me putting in the super stud for the one head bolt that, or head stud that's spun in the casing that I opened up when I was doing the checking the torque. Got to one and the nut was backed off. Well, the super stud came in. This is it right here. If you can see, like this is the top with the nut. See how sharp the pitch is? on the threads. That's normal. Well, you see this end down here is what goes into the case, and they have a rounded head, which is about the same thread, or just, I guess, a little bit larger, but the roundness of it is what gets some tension in there. And then this is their patented design where the shavings are supposed to get trapped inside that and stay there, so you don't have a lot of metal shavings in the block or in the casing. So that's what they say. I've never used one myself, but Mike says he's seen them around for years, and he's the one that told me about it. And that's the easiest way, and hope that it's fine. I'm gonna put it in there maybe with a little red Loctite on it, away from that trap there, that little design. I don't want to fill that up with it. And then I'm gonna lock it down on there, and then I'm gonna put it together as far as I can without the tin on this side, you know, in the intake, so that I can retorque it maybe 24 hours or later or so, or longer if need be. All right, well, we'll cross our fingers on that one. Want to get some good more life out of this, and it is only one stud, so it's worth a try. All right, guys, time to go for that stud and get it out of there. There we go. All right, stud's out. Whoa, look at all the metal from the casing is in the threads. So that's super. Now I see, if you look at it, looks like it's 10 millimeter. But if you look at the threads, they're sharp. These are canted slightly more. It's a rounded edge on those threads, so they bind a little bit more. All right, I'm ready for the stud. I was just curious why I didn't go through the washer, but I didn't think about the fact that I can put it on without the washer, and then when I get these nuts off, I can put it on. It doesn't go over, it's larger. So I'm working it right now slowly through all the fins and the jugs. It's much bigger than what you pull out of there. I mean, it's 10 millimeters, just the very end of it's much bigger. I've never done one of these before, so. But Mike's been around the block a lot more. Got a light coat of cast high temp paint put on it. Let it dry for 24 hours, and ready to start with the push rod tubes. The power went out the other day when I was gonna show how I was gonna put the super stud in, and so I had no lighting in here, and it wouldn't have made great video anyways with the no lighting. So I went ahead and did it. I had to put it in with the ratchet as far as I could, and then the nuts that I locked on top of it started to walk down the threads, and I mean, it was just too tight to drive it in further. So I had to take 3 head nuts and make a tool. I screwed this bolt in with a 17 millimeter head halfway into 3, so that when I put the stud in, it was halfway into 3 also, and then it deadheaded with the bolt. And this enabled me to drive it in further. And I noticed that there is another one right here. See, that's a stock one, and the threads are to the base. And that's exactly what mine did right there, is it stopped with about, a 1/3 of an inch of thread. So feel comfortable with it. It actually just reached torque, 25 foot-pounds. It could have done more if I had to, but that's all that's needed. So I think we're good there. I'm pretty impressed with that. There's one option, or there's a couple options. You just don't want to do the other one, to open up the casing to put a case saver in it. So it should work fine. So we're gonna move on from there. I'm gonna install the push rod tubes. You've all seen that in other videos, the adjustable ones right here. So as you can see, I always paint these last, because I want that one last time to scrape that retainer, valve cover retainer, across my painted valve cover. So that's what I'm going to do today, get this together, among other things. Got a lot of projects going on. All right, there's 4 of them on. And after that last one, it was actually, I think the grommets that came in the kit weren't the best quality, but I've started to put the blue high temp RTV on just a small amount of it on the push rod tube seals, to ensure that I'm not going to have any leaks or nothing coming back. So I'm gonna get on with the other side, and then we can get a move on. All right, I'm all done with the push rod tubes on the 1970 Beetle motor. Looks really nice. All right, steering gearbox came in for another car. Time to jump over to that. That's how we do it here at Just Bugging. Starting to put it together. I got my new grommets, all 4 of them, in the oil cooler. Starting to put on the tins and exhaust and get this thing together. As you can see, I got a little further along on the 1600 dual port motor assembly. I had a first time I ever purchased one of these intakes, so you have to put the heat risers on it, and I didn't realize you have to do a little bit of trimming. I think these pieces came off this side. It wasn't too far off on this one. This one was significantly far off. It was way out here. I had to trim this amount off, and then this was longer. I even put it beside the original one that, you know, had rusted heat risers. This was too far. You couldn't get this anywhere near the head, so I had to take this piece out of it. Other than that, no big deal. Everything sealed up nicely. See, we got the blue distributor cap on it going here. The Just Bug and decal on the coil. I don't know if they minded it on their paint, so I just don't do that unless somebody says I can. I don't really care for these wires. They kind of just don't have much of a grip on the threads. I guess that's enough. I don't know, we'll see. These fit all right over here. I really like that. All right, so that's where I'm at on that. We got a lot of moving around the motors today. This one's going to be the closest one to starting. So, all right, guys, you can see where I've left off on the 1970, and he wanted me to rebuild the carburetor. So you got the universal kit right here from MP, which is for Solex 28, 30, 31, and 34. And yes, I'm gonna look at the instructions. And this one's for 1968 to 74 Type 1, 68 to 71 Type 2. And yes, this is the carburetor that we have. I made in Brazil. So. And I've got all my gaskets and everything and all my hardware laid out. So we're gonna get to it. Look at that. Big chunk. The hell was that? It's a piece of plastic. Not too dirty except for that chunk. Let's put this bad boy in there. Alright, it came out really nice and clean. I blew it off with some carburetor cleaner. Blew out every little hole in it and orifice. And it came out really nice and clean. It's like a nice carburetor. I'm going to clean the gasket surfaces with a little bit of sandpaper and spray it off again with some carb cleaner, blow it out once more, and that'll be ready. And by the time I'm done with that, the top plate can come out of the dip solution and I can start reassembling it. Alright, just putting the top plate, the carburetor back together, setting my choke up. See, you want to just get it just before it closes it. Right about there. I like these, the choke ones that don't have the plastic pieces in it. Those are annoying to try to get back in there. Alright, as you can see, I finished the carburetor. My battery went dead and I set the choke. As you can see, it's going to be on that last step there and it's slightly cracked open. So, and I've got my fuel and air bottomed out and then back it out 2.5 turns a piece. Give me a kind of a base setting to start with. So I'm gonna hook up my fuel filter, bolt it down of course, and get on with this. Got to do the valve adjustment and top it off with some oil and then put the remainder 10s on it. I've got to paint these, but I can do that right after I run it and everything, and I'm sure everything's right, and then put those valve covers and freshly painted on there last. All right, that's where we're at with the 1970 Beetle 1600 dual port motor refresh.
Hey guys, it's Dalton. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more progress videos on this blue engine for the 70 Beetle. And if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like down below, a comment, subscribe, and have a just buggin' of a day. Stay safe out there.